What up? What up? What? America, what's good? I gave y'all one good what up. That's about 44 what ups in a row right there. I gave y'all. It's all condensed. Because I need y'all to know something, boys and girls out there in the lovely land of America and beyond. How about them Cowboys? Oh, we're going to have a great show for y'all today. It's going to be great. It's going to be stupendous. This is going to be one of the best shows that you've ever witnessed, ever in a Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show episode. Listen, America, it is all good. Your boy here is repping. All Cowboy Nation, stand up, step out, and puff up with your chest. Speak with the air in your lungs. But then again, sometimes when I think about this, America, it's not as fun as I thought it would be. Why? Because it's the Eagles. And I'll explain what that means later. But for now, we got a show to do, y'all. It's Rod, it's Don, and it is our resident host. One of our boys in the building, your boy Scrap is in the building. Let's give it up for Scrap. Because Scrap, listen, he's always ready to take the fight. Listen, he had Crow last week. Some more. Hey, Scrap, I think I heard your doorbell. Amazon got another box waiting out there for you. There's some Scrap and there's some more Crow out there for you, bro. You're welcome to go ahead and chomp on that at any time during the show. And listen.
I ate all the crow I'm gonna eat last week.
You ate all the crow you're gonna eat. All right, my
absolutely.
brother. It's all good. It's all good. But listen, we're getting ready to start this show. I need y'all to like, share, YouTube, Facebook, what's going on out there? We appreciate the love. Like, share, smash that like button, y'all. And the YouTube followers out there, comment so we can keep the algorithms going. Make sure you hit that notification button as well. So every time we go live, reels, anything popping, any activity with Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show, you will be notified and you can go ahead and get all this great content. We talking NFL football again and again and again. Listen, we got some winners and we got some losers, but we're going to talk about it all today. You know what I'm saying? He said no losers. Well, I don't know. I beg to differ.
You said some losers. There's one loser here today.
Well, you know, I didn't want to call you out. I just was saying, some. I'm trying to keep it general. You know what I mean? You know, don't worry. We'll individualize the attacks later. You know what I'm saying? We got plenty of time for that. But my boy Don, what's up with you, boy?
Man.
Your little gear on is still your world.
I'm feeling good. There's only one team represented on this show that's actually in the playoffs. That is actually locked down a spot in the playoffs. Thank you, Green Bay, for losing. We have now we're in the playoffs. Everybody else, as far as I'm concerned, you guys are in the hunt. We're in the playoffs. But we got a lot to talk about. Man, I hate it for Scrap to 2 weeks in a row to have to deal and see.
Told you it was coming.
We're gonna go into the show, but let me tell you, gracious in victory and defeat, he's not so much. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, week 14 has come to a close. What can we say? It was there's
a lot to say, but go ahead.
There's a lot to say. I'm going to, this week's therapy session is brought to you by I Told You So. I think you can only be as fraudulent as possible. Now, I won't call the Eagles frauds, but I will say this. When you see how a team plays and they haven't really had, number one, their identity has not been established. They haven't won games or have the victories that they did have. They weren't convincing. They were teams that they should have really just demolished. They found a way to win, and we complimented them on that. But of course, over the last couple of weeks, they had to step up. They had a huge step up in competition, especially week 13, but definitely to follow up week 14, there was a step up in competition because those are the teams that you're truly measured by, the teams that you would potentially see in the playoffs, you know, the teams that you would potentially see an NFC championship game. That's how you're measured, not by handling teams. And I know Rod will make a case that you play more bad teams than good teams, but when you go head to head, that's when we really want to see what you're made of. And, you know, I'll say this and then I'll pass it for you guys to, you know, pretty much kind of work through and process things the way you need to. But I'm not surprised by it. Actually, if we'll do a recap, we predicted the Philly-Dallas game. Rod said 38-28. Dallas. Scrap said 31-17 Eagles. And you got to get off that 17 because now everybody's running up the score on you guys. So that whole 17, we only give up 17. You got to kind of drop
It's
that.
coming. It's
And
coming.
then I predicted Dallas 35-21. So, it was I mean, all of us gave the Eagles too much credit. I mean, they didn't score any of those points. So it was they got embarrassed. Do I think that they are no longer a good team? Of course, they're still a good team, but I think that will they be able to correct those glaring holes in their defense before the playoffs? Absolutely not. So they're going to have to, it's going to be interesting down the stretch who wins the NFC East. I mean, because weeks ago, I thought it was impossible, based on the lead that they had on Dallas, but clearly it's not. Everybody's 10-3, right? The Eagles have the easiest schedule. I think that the most difficult team that they'll face in the next 4 weeks will be Seattle. And Seattle, all of us have proven that Seattle, I mean, we swept Seattle. Brock Purdy's 4-0 against Seattle since he's been a starter. So Dallas handled Seattle. They barely won, but overall, I think Dallas is a better team. They're playing better right now than the Eagles. Outside of that, the Eagles should run the table, and we'll see what happens. They still have a high percentage to win the East, but I don't know what that means if they're one and done in the playoffs. What do you guys say? Floor is yours.
Well, I'm gonna do this. Clinicians, when they deal with their clients, they like to hear from their clients. They want to give ear, and one of the things that they will tell you is important to listen to the one that needs the treatment, that needs the consolation, that needs the advice. And so in this case, I'm going to let my client go. I'm going to let Mr. Scrap go so we can hear his heart. And so this way, the right diagnosis can be applied once we hear his heart. So go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
So we recapping right now our game. That's we're gonna start with that.
Yeah. It's Cowboys and Eagles.
Listen, I'm normally prepared, but I gotta look at some notes. And I'm gonna turn my camera on for 1 second.
Okay,
no problem. See what I got.
Problem. Do your thing. Do your thing. Oh my God.
Oh, y'all can see this. Oh, I can't listen. I cannot. Outside the NDA, I can't tell y'all what I just read. But what I will say, okay, all right. We've seen this movie plenty times, over and over again. It's just like every movie. It's 3 parts to every movie, okay? It's the beginning, it's the rise. And then in the middle, towards the end, it's the fall, and then the outcome. Okay. Right now, we just went through rough waters. Okay, we went through rough waters, and we came out pretty good. We came out 4-2 in that 6-game gauntlet that they said we had to run. Am I right? So we went 4-2 in that, which is respectable. I mean, I wanted to go at least 5-1. Like the only thing that I didn't like was losing to the Cowboys, because we really shouldn't lose to the Cowboys, but it happens. Now, as far as the game, like I watched. Oh, I'm sorry. My ring let me know it might have been my crow order, but listen, I but what I'm saying is, right, every team goes through it. Okay, now, Don, y'all lost 3 in a row, and then what's the first thing people saying? People were out on y'all. From,
That's
true.
Yeah,
is the 49ers still who they are, who they said they are? Y'all went through y'all rough patch, y'all came out, y'all been cruising. Now, y'all was like, okay, are the 49ers one of the best teams in the league? And then y'all beat the Eagles. And then it was like, oh, the 49ers are the best team in the league. Okay, then Dallas. Y'all was like respectable. Okay, I'm not gonna say y'all was anything special. Y'all was respectable. Y'all lost a couple games. Well, y'all lost 1 game. There's no way y'all should have lost that game, right?
That's fair.
And then y'all lost 2 games to 2 better teams. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can say what you want about the Eagles, but at the time when we beat you guys, we were the better team. So with that being said, now Dallas is looked at as the 2nd best team in the league, right? And why? Because y'all beat the Eagles. Okay, the Eagles all season has been like I told you before, when you kept saying, "Oh, we could play with the Eagles," we was the measuring stick that other teams was measured on. Now I'm gonna get into my team before I get into the game. My what worries me now is not so much the defense, because I said last week, you asked me, hey, what do you think about defense? I said we've been talking about the defense all season. Like the defense is what it is. Nobody's coming to save us. All the Brian Dawkins, hype videos in the world is not going to help the defense. Now, if you look at our team, all the money is spent on the offensive side of the ball. Okay, that's where all the money's spent. So I worry now when the offense sputters. Okay, in that game we was able to move the ball, but what happened was every time we got a roll going, the ball was on the carpet. Like that you cannot do. And y'all made good plays stripping the ball out. Those are good heads up veteran plays, and that's what really killed us, because we could move the ball. It seemed like just about every time. Well, the three main fumbles is like after a good gain or a big gain, the ball was on the carpet, and you can't turn the ball. I say one of our losses we got beat convincingly. This game, it was kind of like the Jets game. We turned the ball over 4 times against the Jets, right? And you can't win like that. So if you turn the ball over 3 times against a team that's slightly better than the Jets, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to win.
Slightly.
You see what I'm saying? Slightly better. Y'all slightly better than the Jets. Y'all got an offense. I would say y'all defense is kind of similar. The Jets has a good defense. But hello?
Yeah, no. The floor is yours, sir. You're paying good money for these hours. I just want you to make sure.
No, I'm just going to get it out because by all means, I want to see your celebration, your touchdown dance. But so with that being said, we came out of the roughest part of our schedule. So now the pressure is, I don't feel like the pressure's on us as much, because all we got to do is just go out and win. That's basically what it is. Because if we end up with a tie with you guys, long as we don't lose to the Giants,
that's mathematically true.
We got the division. So I feel like we got time to fix our offense. Like that's out of the both units, that's the one that's fixable, and that's what we should concentrate on is the offense, because the defense is what it is. Like since week 2, 3, we realized the defense is what it is. So they're not going to get no better. So the offense really, really has to earn their money. Like they're like I said, they're the highest paid unit on our team. Our quarterback's making $1 zillion. We got wide receivers making $1 zillion. We got a tight end that's, if he's not making it, he will be. We got Devontae who's going to be making it. We got all that beef up front. You see what I'm saying? Like the offense is really what really worries me. And I think we didn't even score an offensive touchdown that game. It was just one. That was just one of those games.
Oh, I didn't notice. Good.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, absolutely. Did I steal some of your thunder?
No, not at all. Better you say it than me. I mean, you're the client. I want you to, I may not have to say anything at all when this is all done. Go ahead. Yeah.
Listen. It's a story. It's a movie about a guy. We got a statue in front of the art museum about a guy who all his movies is like this. He's good. He's fighting. He gets beat up. And the next thing you know, he has that fight and he wins his belt back. Like I still feel like honestly, like we still are going to be playing in February, and long as Don and them don't lose a game, they won't have to come back to Philly. But if either one of y'all got to come to Philly, y'all not walking out of there with a victory. Like I can't, like, as bad as we look, it came back to back. You see what I'm saying? Like I can see if we lost to y'all, 1 week and then lost another, won a couple games, then lost again. Like this is fixable right here. Like this was the end of the roughest part of our schedule, and the world besides me, because I don't talk like that, had these 2 games at the scheduled loss. They had the 49ers at the scheduled loss, and they had us splitting with Dallas. Okay, like that's just the reality of it. I mean, yeah, I'm a fanatic and I go crazy, and I will never ever in my life say that we're going to lose to Dallas. And y'all played a good game. Y'all played a very good game. But if I feel like if we would have did some things better, I feel like the play calling is horrible, because we waited again until we got down multiple scores to actually run the ball. And we was running this, we was having success running the ball. It's just like I don't understand why we go so pass heavy when he only threw the ball to 3 people. So I mean, you know what? I'm gonna pass this off. I'm gonna pass it off. You go ahead. You listen. The Russian judge is watching, and you will get graded on style points for this one. So you go right ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Well. Listen, I want to thank you, Scrap. Again, we just want to commend you for being on the show, right? And you've done it 2 weeks in a row now. back-to-back L's, and you are here on the show. And one thing Don and I appreciate about you, Scrap, is that you are always 10 toes down on your Eagles. No matter what, you're going to come, you're going to face the music. But I just want to help America just to understand, just to give interpretation to Scrap and his screen that he held up earlier. He had a score with the officials and so forth. And then he went on his diatribe about
I didn't have a score.
What was that again? I'm sorry. Can you put that up one more time for me, please?
I'm not supposed to show y'all this, but they sent it to me, man. This is the
they sent it official 23-24 season script. What does that mean exactly? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
He's trying to say
the NFL
it was rigged.
It was rigged. Oh, okay. So let me just give it an interpretation. Not rigged. It was scripted. Okay, scripted. Okay, all right, I got you. So America, let me just tell you what that means. Just a one-word interpretation.
Where was this? I didn't use not one excuse. I didn't use not one excuse. Already, you know, I'm giving you a score now.
America.
5.5. No matter what you do, no matter what you do after this, you will not get a 10. You will
America.
Use not one excuse.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why that score should be a lot higher, because my good friend Scrap here, the Eagles fan, wanted to indicate and make y'all believe that the game was scripted by probably Hussey and his official crew are 7-0 when they officiate games for the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles don't lose when he is officiating. Him and his crew, they're 7-0, including the last game that the Eagles and Cowboys played, mind you, in Philadelphia. So there was some concern. Some people was like, man, I don't know. It's going to be rigged. It's going to be this, that, and the third now. Because,
you mean y'all was setting up y'all excuse? Y'all was setting y'all setting y'all excuse if y'all
not at all, because not at all, because at the end of the day, even with the loss in Philly, as I said, and I'll continue to say, we beat ourselves like Kansas City did, like Buffalo did, and Don said it in the opening remarks. Donald said, and this is very true. We saw Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4. Like at some point, Stallone just said enough with the sequels. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bow out, and this is exactly what's going to happen with the Eagles. There'll be no more sequels. Because the truth of the matter is, we're looking at a team with the Eagles. I'm going to just start with the Eagles first, then I'll get into the game. But the Eagles, the thing is, Donald said they're not frauds. But here in America, I'm going to tell you, the Eagles are frauds. They're not who they are. They are who we thought they are. And they are a team that is trash. And I'm going to tell you why they're trash.
Now you see why you don't split with teams.
I'm going to tell you why they're trash.
I'm going to tell you why you don't split with these kind of teams. Here is the thing, okay? When Scrap mentions when the 49ers went on their 3-game losing streak, right? Everyone's like, oh man, what's wrong with the 49ers? They looking, this, that, and the third, right? But there was a viable excuse. There was some validity to their losing streak, right? Debo was not there. Trent Williams was not there. CMC got hurt in the Cleveland game. You tried to play, couldn't go the rest of the way. So there was some validity, right? I mean, yes, they lost, and people say, "Oh, is Purdy that guy? Can he win?" Without, well, it was no Don. No, we talked about it, but Don is gonna take the high road. But deep down in Don's heart, he knew that a healthy Debo and a healthy Trent and a healthy CMC was clearly going to make a difference, right? So but that's like saying if the world was perfect, like I said last week. So that's like saying if the world was perfect. Now,
well, no, it doesn't mean it has nothing to do with perfection. It just has to do with performance. And that's what the Eagles do not have, performance. Okay. You are healthy. You have all your players. 3 guys who are the weapons on your team fumbled in Sunday's game. Your team is not that good. That's just it. Your defense will never get better. You're last in every important statistical category. You're last in third down efficiency. You're last in red zone defense. You're last in passing defense. The defense is trash. and if you think that offense is going to overcompensate, it's not going to work. You can't find a team that has won a Super Bowl with a defense that bad. It's not happening. And it will not, that trend will not be broken. And the fact when you look at the Eagles offensively, okay, and here's the thing, again, right? We know Hurts, he's actually been running the ball. He's been running the ball, but the problem is, again, there's no scheme really now to what y'all do, right? It's like my players are going to have to overcome and be the best players to overtake another defensive players, right? But that hasn't happened. AJ Brown has been really silent lately. He hasn't really done a lot of damage. And you guys are right. You know what? I gotta tell you guys, I gotta make sure I make this point, because y'all said in the CD game, right? CD had about 34 catches for 4,000 yards in that game, but he never got in the end zone. And I said to myself, man, maybe the guys are right. Building up the stats, moving the ball between the 20s and not getting a touchdown. I said to myself, man, Don, why, Don? You see that beautiful teeth?
No, let me tell you. You argued us down.
I argued,
right.
and I'm telling you, you're right. And I'm saying, and you're right.
Okay.
And you're right. And I said, that's the point I'm trying to make. I said, what? The guys are right.
Now we're right.
They nullified my argument. They are so right. You know what? It's not about what you do between the 20s. It's about what you do in the 10 yards of the colored area on the ends of this field. That's what matters, right? Who gets to walk around on that side of the field? And I said, man, they're right. CD kind of subpar with 6 catches, 70-something yards, whatever it was, but he did score. And AJ Brown, 9 catches for about 98 yards? But he never scored, and he turned the ball over at a critical time against Gilly from Philly, by the way. But here's the thing:
he dropped. It should have been a touchdown. He dropped it, went right.
And he dropped, but again, that's performance, right? I mean, that's not nothing to do with perfection. That's performance. And again, your team does not show up because honestly, your offense is stale. There is nothing to the offense. If y'all can't run the ball, y'all have nothing. You cannot win on Jalen on Hurts' on his arm. You cannot win. And in fact, and I'm gonna say this now, D, just to somewhat discredit what you said about taking the 49ers playbook. Here's the truth of the matter: we actually did the opposite. When we blitz Hurts, he had no chance to throw. Why can we blitz and most teams can't? We already got a good pass rush. But the reason is we got better coverage on the outside. Dallas plays man-to-man because we got 2 legit corners on the outside. So we can blitz all day. And the truth of the matter is we can blitz and we can cover. And guess what we can do that the Eagles can't? Tackle. So when you see A.J. Brown, the ball is short because Jalen has no time to throw. And that's the thing with Jalen. It's either rush or if you put 14 guys in the backfield like what the Niners did, he's confused. He can't read the coverage. Once his first and second, third options are gone, what else can he do? He doesn't know what else to do. So if you can't run the ball, which the Eagles, and you're right, Scrap. I wonder why they kind of went away from the running game. Didn't matter. But but Hurts did run and he fumbled, right? And again, there was some time when y'all had to keep running the ball and fumble. But the truth of the matter is, it wouldn't have mattered. Your defense can't stop anybody. And I told D, y'all said it and heard me in the chat. Y'all read the chat. When what you call it, your old boy, Jalen Carter got the fumble return. I said, relax. I felt no pressure at all. There was no need to be concerned about anything.
That than us. I think you was telling you.
No, really, because the game we handled, the Cowboys were in control of that game from the very kickoff. And if any Eagle fan is honest, they will say the same. Dallas, and I kept telling everybody, we can beat the Eagles. The Eagles is not a problem for Dallas. They're not on our radar. We could care less. And yes, if y'all win through, which I don't think y'all will. Honestly, I think you're about to take 3 L's in a row because Seattle, that might be a problem because that defense you got, Metcalf is going to have a day and a half against Bradbury or Slay. What's Slay's first name? You don't want anybody calling by his first name. What is that now? What are you? Darius. All the greats get called by their first name. So he don't want. What's his name again? What's his name? Darius. He don't want to be called Darius. Call me Slay. So you already bumming when you say that because all the great ones will go by first name, right? I mean that's what we do. But anyway, Clay, Slay, whatever he wants to be called, next week is going to be a problem too. Listen,
his mama named him Slay. I'm gonna call him Slay.
Yeah, well, he got Slay by default. That's his last name. But at the end of the day, he don't want anybody calling him by his first name. Well, the greats were called by their first name. You know what I'm trying to say? But at least most of them were. But here's what I'm gonna say though. I'm gonna wrap this part up right here. Just all I'm gonna say. At the end of the day, people, for the Dallas Cowboys, it's not about the Eagles. Never has been. And if we have to go on the road, if that becomes the case, we will beat them in Philly. I'm not worried about that because again, the Philly, clip it, D, clip it because I'm gonna tell you why this is important. Dallas will beat them in Philly if we have to go to Philly. Y'all might not even make it out of the first round. Y'all might actually get bumped in the first round because again, your offense is stale. And here's the thing. Here's what you want to understand about the Eagles. Okay, because again, like I said, they want to mention if they can't run, they're not doing anything. All you gotta do is either blitz or put 1,000 people in the back. So in a way, Donald, you're right. There is a blueprint. Either you can blitz like Dallas, or you can drop everybody back in coverage and watch Jalen just look confused. It's one of the two is going to happen.
It's not the fact that we can't run. It's the fact that we weren't running. It's a big difference. We can run. It's just we weren't. They wasn't calling running plays. They threw the ball upwards of like 40 times. And I said that the other day. It's no.
Well, you had to because you're behind. But here's the thing: you can only run the ball, Scrap, if you got the lead. You can't run if you don't have a lead. If you're down by 2 or more scores, giving it to Gainwell and Swift don't help you none. You playing it to the hands of the opponent.
When the third quarter started, we ran the ball like 4 straight times, and then he threw the ball to AJ and he fumbled. And we were getting big gains, like we were moving the ball. Did you not see that part?
Oh no, I saw that. But like you said, right between the 20s, I saw y'all were moving the ball against Dallas in the 20s. But here is the thing.
You should have prepared.
But here is the thing: the reason why you still can't just keep running the ball is you're eating up clock. They know in their mind, and Jalen knows, just like Mahomes knows about his receivers. Jalen knows, and Sirianni knows, and everybody in that Eagle bench knows. Our defense can't stop anybody. Even though Dallas, I think, chose to lay back with the dinks and dunks in the second half, which I have no clue why they did that. But I guess we wanted to just go ahead and showcase Aubrey because no one's giving him any love. He actually outscored the Eagles' offense, by the way. So we never scored a touchdown. Aubrey was enough to beat you alone. But the truth of the matter is that the problem with y'all is even though y'all can run the ball well, but again, your defense can't stop anybody. You're killing a lot of time. So the truth is a team can go up and down the field on y'all and still run because y'all run defense ain't been great at all. People can run up and down on y'all. Dallas ran reasonably well. We already saw what the Niners have done. Teams can run on the Eagles. The defense now is shot it was first your front seven was pretty decent at one point in the year, but now it's all shot. Nobody's getting through. Your pass rush isn't there. So there's no way, if you're realistic about yourselves, Eagle fans, you would say it's hard for me to believe that this team is going to prevail when it comes playoff time. That's the thing. And here's the thing. I'm gonna double back to you, Don and Scrap. Y'all can take it from here. This is a jump out the window move. I know this is crazy, but if I'm an Eagle fan, this is what I would say. I am firing those coordinators, both offensive and defensive coordinators. Fire them both. Let them go. And you might think it's extreme right now at this time of the season, but you know what? It can't get any worse, particularly the defensive coordinator. It can't get any worse than what y'all got now.
I think that the defensive coordinator didn't do a bad job in the second half because he kind of learned from the 49ers game because those throws across the middle wasn't really there. I think Ferguson made a heck of a catch on that third down.
Yes, he did.
Because the ball was kind of high. He just, was bigger than the guy on him. I don't think the defensive coordinator did a bad job in the second half. The first half, that's something different. But the best thing that can happen, and I think it's going to happen, is we're going to win out, right? And Brian Johnson is going to look better, and he's going to get a head coaching job somewhere because he was already getting looked at earlier. I'm telling you that when your team
he'll get a head coaching job because he coached some good stars on the team. But at the end of the day, though, there's no creativity on the offense. Like y'all, there's no. You said whatever gets him out of there. Oh, I'm sure you want him out of there. Yeah, if I'm an Eagles fan, I want him out of there too. I mean, the way that the Eagles right now, schematically, they don't look good on both sides of the ball. Jalen obviously still hurt. He's running, but you can see that they if they really could have their way, they would run Jalen pretty much quarterback draw as often as they can, but they really can't because again, he's going to get hurt if he continues to do that. And with AJ Brown hasn't been that dominant force like he once was. Okay. And Smith he's getting his, but in spurts. It's not, there's no domination anymore. And Goddard didn't do much of anything in the game on Sunday. So
that's his first game back. So
that's his first game back. It's the first game back. Yeah.
And he was trying to protect his arms.
Yeah. So right now, who make the case for which team is going to win the NFC East? Do you think the Cowboys?
I still think Dallas is because I honestly think that the Eagles are going to lose the game. Danny DeVito, you saw Danny DeVito last night. Let me tell you something. Don't sleep because again, I'm gonna tell you.
You're just picking
I still think Dallas can win the NFC East, but y'all need
to
I'll
say this.
I'll
say this. Playing a team twice in 3 weeks can be difficult. We made it look easy, but it can be challenging because it's kind of a rubber match. They can kind of instantly improve on things or try something. Like you play Giants, someone else, and then Giants, right? Again, that's
the Cardinals.
They got Cardinals in between those games.
Cardinals, so from what I've seen from the Cardinals, they're pretty tough.
Yeah, well, if you got 3 of your offensive linemen out, you're starting home lineman, then maybe it would be a little bit tough. But I know Sunday was tough. Did they back up
on uniforms? You said it. They had on the uniform.
Right? Everybody had uniforms.
But we have a modicum of an excuse. The Eagles have none. Y'all been healthy. Y'all got everybody. Everybody's been healthy. Everybody's been healthy.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like this, right? If this game had went the exact opposite way,
keyword say had again. So
no, I'm using your word. I'm using your word. If.
Okay. If
this game had went the other way, like our first possession, we score a touchdown. It's a hold. They pick up the flag. You would have been going crazy. I don't believe they picked up. Oh my goodness.
I could give you 5 calls where the Eagles got burnt on. I'll agree. I could give you 5 calls today, but I don't think it would have mattered though. I don't think it really would have mattered. Dallas caught a bad call on the clipping. The clipping was a bad call. That was a bad call.
Blaming the refs is a loser mentality. That was that.
So then, what was that you held up then? Was that your mentality? Was that the Eagles mentality that you held up? Was that the brainwave of the Eagle fan that sign you just held up before you started? What was that?
You must don't watch the games. That's a play on the commercials that they had when they having the script and they had the script meetings and everything, man.
That's from the commercial. That's inspired. Yeah. Okay, all right. I must have missed the commercial. I didn't.
But I'm telling you. We've seen this movie plenty of times, man. Last year we lost 3 games. Did I not tell you?
You're not the same team though, Scrap. You know that, right? You know you're not the same team from last year.
Listen to what I'm saying. Did I not tell you this, D, during the Buffalo game when we was texting? I said we're gonna lose like 3 games. But what I did say is we wasn't gonna lose to both of y'all, and we did. But we still at 3. We're going to win out. It's just y'all better not lose another game. Because then y'all going to have to be the number 2 and do all that.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I am nervous about the Buffalo game, though. Right. I'm very nervous. I know we'll talk about that at some time.
Everything you going on now is all hope. Like, you hope we lose another game. Hope.
No, okay, but can I tell you this, though, for me personally? I'm going to be honest with you. Honestly, I'm not so much. I mean, it'd be nice if Dallas can get a home game, right? We might end up having to go to whoever wins the NFC South, right? We might have to go see Tampa or Atlanta, right? Which could be a little tricky, but we'll beat them. If we got to win our games on the road, I'm confident we can do that. I told D in the beginning of this show, the only thing that's on my mind and the only goal that I have, me personally, is to be at Levi Stadium for the NFC Championship. Because we will see the 49ers in NFC Championship, not the Eagles. The Cowboys and Niners will play in the NFC Championship in Levi Stadium. And that's I'm not even about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl for the Cowboys is the 49ers in Levi Stadium because that's what we'll be. And that's the only thing we're concerned with. We can beat anybody on the road. We can y'all again.
I know why you said that.
Rod is running off of fanatical adrenaline. Yeah. You know how like
I've been saying this all year.
And so I'll say this. Have I not
said that all year?
No, you have said that. You did say.
What did I tell you? Who's the only team we care about?
He wasn't concerned about the Eagles whatsoever.
Never.
Now I'll say this: not being concerned with them. Had you said that and you swept them, you would have some credibility with me.
Right.
We didn't need to sweep them to care about them, though. I think the Eagles. That's no, not really. Because I told you, Scrap, that either we was going to split or Dallas would sweep. Y'all haven't swept us since 2011. The teams, and there's been no back-to-back NFC champions in 19 years. There's been no back-to-back champions in NFC East. Well, I mean, but like I said, and I still don't know if that's going to happen. That's not with certainty. But the truth of the matter is, us splitting with the Eagles doesn't mean that we're not worried about them. Like I said, we played the Eagles well in Philly. We imploded on the 6-yard line at 1st and 5 with 26 seconds left. You don't lose that game. Not against the worst red zone defensive team in the league. You don't lose that game. Put us in that situation again. Dallas wins. Then we blew them out in Dallas. So I'm saying,
take your victory lap without trying to rehash domination and defeat.
No, I'm trying to retort. That's my retort to your point that you're saying we shouldn't say that we shouldn't care about the Eagles. I'm trying to tell you, everyone else's hype and all these platitudes towards the Eagles. The Eagles are trash. We've said that. I stand down on that, and that's who they are. Trash. They're a fake 10-3 team. They're no better than 11-0 Steelers that started out in 2020 11-0. And what happened? They crashed and burned, just like the 2011 Green Bay Packers was 15-1. They crashed and burned to a freaking wild card team in the Giants and lost the road. And James Jones said it. James Jones said it on the speak that we knew, even though we were 15-1, we were not a good team. And the Eagles is not a good team.
What happened to the 13-3 Cowboys of 2017?
We lost to the Giants. The same team, the same year we lost to the Giants, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. You're right. But that's all my point. So having the best record or having a record, there's a difference. As somebody said, I think it was Joy Taylor that said it. All 10-3 teams are not created equal. You look at the 10-3 Niners versus the 10-3 Eagles. What would you say? Scrap, are y'all better than the 10-3 49ers? Y'all got the same record, but honestly, are y'all better than them?
Oh no, not right now. Not right now.
Will y'all ever? So you think at some point y'all will be better than them?
Listen, we got 4 weeks. We got 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
To correct our offense. Because like I said, the defense is what it is. We got 4 weeks to correct our offense. We got 4 weeks. So in about 6 weeks, when they come back to Philly, then we can rehab. So
in 4 weeks, so if y'all sweep everybody and the Niners sweep everybody, y'all end up with the same record. Y'all still better than the Niners?
Oh no! If that's the case, they're coming to Levi's Stadium.
If that's the case, then we go
because we own the tiebreak on both of you. So
everybody
can win out. We don't.
No, everybody's got to go. Listen, again,
everybody goes to Levi's.
Objectivity. If you're honest with yourself, you
wear your 501s.
Okay,
to Levi's.
That's it. Let me tell you something. We going to 501. That's right. Levi's Stadium. We wearing some blue jeans. Everybody got the blue jeans on coming into the stadium. The truth of the matter is, when you look at the Eagles and you talk about getting ready, getting fixed, rectifying some things. But now, here's the thing, and I'm gonna throw this back at y'all because y'all did this all year with Dallas, right? It's just that the cupcake schedules flip. Y'all had y'all harder parts early. Now y'all get them kind of have a cupcake towards the end, right? Same thing now. Dallas is on the inverse. But here's the thing. Y'all getting perfect, and again, I still think y'all might still catch an L in one of them Giant games, and you can still lose next week. But if y'all happen to win out, you win out against what? Bad teams. You got ready. You got perfected on what? Bad teams. So what kind of barometer is that going to be? Absolutely. Like that's y'all been saying the same with Dallas. Dallas winning, Dak playing MVP level, but he hasn't played anybody. But you're right. He still hasn't played anybody. We haven't because the Eagles defense is definitely not something to use as a barometer. We're not walking around and saying, "Yo, we beat a good team." We didn't beat a good team on Sunday. We beat a bad 10-3 team.
You made a team with the best record look bad. So you can hang your hat on that. Cowboy fans should feel good about it because beating the
not
Eagles,
real Cowboy fans.
you needed to beat the Eagles. You needed
we needed to, and we were
from
a
confidence standpoint. Now you know as a Cowboys fan, Scrap knows as an Eagles fan, there are levels to it, right? So honestly speaking, not trying to be crazy, you guys aren't on our level. But I'll say this from the Cowboys standpoint, being to your own admission, being third in the pecking order of potential representatives of the NFC, you needed that victory. Now you're making it trivial, but you needed that victory from a confidence standpoint. Yeah, we belong. You need it. Listen,
I'm trying to tell you, honestly speaking, and again, and I'm not trying to be ornery with it, but I'm really trying to tell you, real Cowboy fans will know, the Eagles were not a team that we were concerned with. We know the real Eagles. They fooled America, but not us. We know the Eagles. They're not that good. This team is definitely not as good as last year. And so we know, and so they're not. And so now that was the 49ers. I would even go as far as to say Buffalo, because Buffalo actually is a tougher matchup for us. That's the game I'm really concerned with because of Josh Allen. We don't do well with running quarterbacks and quarterbacks that are mobile and move with design runs as well. So that's a problem for us. But and he has a good arm, and they got threats on the outside. And Buffalo is a really good team, right? They've had some the balls kind of went the wrong way for them.
I don't think Buffalo is as good as the Eagles. I really don't.
Don't tell them that.
Now I will say this.
I
was impressed. I was impressed when Buffalo played Kansas City. I was impressed that they had some design runs for Josh Allen, but by and large, they took the running responsibilities out of his hands and they actually utilized the running back. Cook was actually used the way the running back should be used.
Right.
Takes the pressure off of Josh Allen. And I
Sure.
think overall that offense flowed better because it
Right.
wasn't completely Josh-centric. So
Right.
if they continue that way, yes. But if Josh thinks he's just going to each play, take a step back and then rush out, they're going to lose. They
might lose.
That's a
definitely
fair
lose.
assessment.
They
That's a
might lose
fair
him,
assessment. And it could lose him too. You're right, Scrap. I agree. No, I agree with that
So
assessment.
I
That's a
wouldn't
fair
play
assessment.
that. I wouldn't play
But-
that game.
but-
They need
but-
to balance it.
No, they do. But only thing I'm saying, I'll just say this quickly, is again, and let me put this in. I'm gonna come down just a tinge, okay?
Stay up there where you at.
The Eagles are they Carolina? Are they the Steelers? Are they, are they who else can I think of? What other bad team is there out there? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of bad teams, all right? Arizona, there's a lot of bad teams.
Washington,
okay?
for that matter.
Washington, right?
How you gonna call Arizona a bad team and they beat you?
They're still a bad team, though.
Take
them off
Just
the
because they
list,
beat
though.
us don't mean that they're a good team. They're a good
Just
team.
'cause
So,
y'all
D,
don't make
honestly
y'all a good
speaking,
team.
D, y'all lost to Minnesota. Is now Minnesota a better team than the 49ers? Are the Jets better than I'll say
this.
than the Jets? I mean, than the Eagles?
Minnesota by a football field is better than Arizona. No doubt about
Two
it.
football
Right,
fields.
but I'm saying, are
Two
they
football
better
fields.
than the 49ers, though?
No, they're
All
not.
right, then. So that's my point. So Arizona to this very day is not better than that. They caught us. They got us. And I think that was a little emotional. That was the week. Diggs got hurt. He was out.
No,
We
we're
had
not talking
3
about Diggs
offensive
being
linemen that were out, two of which are
So now-
bona fide Hall of Famers.
See, you're
But I'm
taking-
saying we still lost. You're right. We lost.
Right.
We lost.
You
Our
can't
offense
bring
was
that up.
featured at that time.
You can't bring. You.
But
can't
that doesn't
bring
mean
up-
that they're a better team. So are you saying that Arizona's a better team than Dallas because Dallas lost to them? Are y'all
No,
both saying that?
No, that's not. That's
No,
not
we're
what
not
I'm saying.
that.
We're just
okay.
saying don't reference them and they beat you. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Pick
Right.
up.
Why
There's
not?
a whole bunch of
I
other
think that
teams you
matter.
can pick
Yeah,
up.
say the Giants or something.
Say the Giants. Say
Say
Washington.
Carolina.
Say
Okay, you already
Carolina.
used them
There. You can say Atlanta. There's a ton
Yeah.
of teams that you can say.
Yeah.
Don't say a team that beat
They
you.
beat you.
All right.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
I
Does
mean,
that make
to me, I don't think it nullifies anything because I don't think the Cardinals are still better than us because they beat us. But to your point, I agree. Okay, yeah, Atlanta, whatever. The Eagles are not Atlanta. They're not those teams that you just mentioned, right? They're not
Right.
them.
You're right.
Okay,
We're not.
fine.
Right.
All right. Yeah, they're not. But they're not the team that everybody thinks they are by way of being a true Super Bowl contender. You got bad teams, you got some mediocre teams, you got good teams, and then you really have the great. And really, there's only really one dominant team in the entire NFL. That's the 49ers. Everybody else can go like this, but Dallas is number 2. Okay, and then you got the Eagles in there, Miami. You got, I would even say Baltimore's number 3, and then you got everybody else that kind of feels. Because I think Baltimore's actually still a better team than the Eagles. My whole thing is that the
You think
Eagles
about
are
6
not
teams are
that
better
team.
than the Eagles? You think it's about 6 teams better than the Eagles?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
Okay.
I don't think y'all any better than really my opinion. I don't think y'all any better than you're not any better than Baltimore or Miami for that.
Whoa.
I don't think so.
He got him.
I
knew it was
don't
just
know.
a matter of time.
I don't know.
We
I
beat
just
Miami
don't-
by 2 touchdowns.
Y'all did, but I don't
Listen.
think. I think
But it's
listen,
no
Scrap
but.
in the playoffs.
Now playoffs matter.
Yeah, the playoffs is
Okay.
gonna matter.
Hey, I'll tell
but
you
again,
this. Miami.
Okay.
Let me just put a
bad
point
hell.
right
I'm not
there.
gonna lie. Yeah, but go ahead.
Miami. Colin Cowherd today said it best. Miami is a spray tan. It looks good from a distance, but when you get close, Miami, first of all, I have real concerns that Miami is not going to win their division. Mess
That's
around,
possible. That's
and
possible.
they may not win their division because when you look at it head to head with Buffalo, they have a chance to. So I'm thinking Miami's going to lose to the Cowboys, right? And depending on, I mean, they gave a report. Report came out like about an hour ago about Tyreek. He's week to week. It looks like a high ankle sprain, right? Other doctors that have made comments on Twitter, real doctors, not Twitter doctors, have made comments that based on how his ankle twisted, that it looked like it was a high ankle sprain. If Tyreek, we've already seen in a sample size because he only played half the game yesterday.
Right.
If Tyreek misses any time, a game, 2 games, whatever, they give him a shot and he's not as explosive, We already see what Tua is. Tua got sacked, 5 times yesterday? And this is from a team. Now,
we got him
Tennessee,
like 5 times too.
Tennessee is not a team even in the same
On the radar.
echelon. It's not on the radar of any of our teams. So I would feel really easy, even more so after watching them yesterday, Rod, that the Cowboys should roll over Miami. Roll over Miami.
Yeah, if we keep Tua under pressure, the problem with Miami is Tua doesn't know, unlike a lot of other good quarterbacks, the problem with Tua, he doesn't know how to maneuver out of the pocket. He can't scramble well. He doesn't know what to do. It's like if he doesn't have that timing in there, and because he's shorter and everything, he doesn't know how to move out the pocket. He's not a scrambling. I mean, I'm not saying he can't make throws on the run because we've seen him do it, but I think that's the problem when he gets. It's like he don't know if he should go up the pocket or if he should come outside the pocket. I think when things start collapsing around him, he just doesn't know how to buy himself time. Is what I'm trying to say. I think that's the issue with Tua. Yeah, and that's when you saw that yesterday. He couldn't. Yeah. There's no way you should get sacked on that 4th and 2. Come on, bro. You got to be able to break that pocket and at least scramble for them 2 yards.
It was a bad loss. Bad loss.
That was a bad sack, like taking a bad sack on like 1st and 1 at the 6.
Correct.
With like 30 seconds to go. It's a horrible sack, man.
Here I am about to agree. Like, yes, you're right, Scrap. Like, it's all right, Scrap. You're right. It's bad. Like fumbling it 3 times in near the red zone. Yeah, you're right. It's horrible, especially when you're 3. Like you say, those are high paid players, right? Like those highest. Those are your 3 highest paid players.
Well, 2 are the real high, and then 1 is going.
Yeah, because Devontae's going to get a bag at some point. But he got a good rookie deal. He's your number 1 draft pick, right? Did you draft the number 1? Wasn't Devontae Smith number 1? Yeah. So he make a rookie salary.
And it was
good.
And it was bad that all 3 of your stars on your team fumbled. I thought that was bad too.
That's getting it all out the system because, like I said,
I thought y'all got out last week. Didn't y'all get all out of the system? You said something similar to that.
No.
Y'all didn't get it all out of the system last week. That didn't happen?
It was put in the system last week, and then we caught the virus last week, and this week the virus came out. So now, hey man, now we're back on the other side, man.
Listen, America, your boy Scrap is good, man. He's good. He's good. He's good.
Man, it's all about winning the games you're supposed to win. So when you lose these games late in the season, it's really no drop off. Now it's just
I can't disagree with that.
Now it's just win out. I mean, it's not the fact that we lost to y'all teams, it's how we lost. It just looks bad like that. But when you look in the standings, it only counts as 1 loss. We got 3 losses now. We lost to them. But when you look at it, oh man, they look horrible. Yes, we did. We look really bad. So at this point, it can't get no worse. It only can get better from here. But like I said, the only unit it's definitely gonna get better. The only unit that's fixable is the offense. Now, what I didn't like about the Cowboys game, right? We don't have nobody on our team that's nasty. You see what I'm saying? Like, we need somebody nasty. Once Michael Parsons pushed Lane Johnson helmet up and made his nose bloody, it should have been somebody on their team with a bloody nose. Like, you got this the time of year when identities are being made and people are like, now being that we let them beat us up like that 2 weeks in a row, we're viewed as being soft. Okay, so now when we start punching on people, it's going to look bad. Remember last year in that NFC Championship game when Trent Williams, and I'm not trying to, remember he grabbed Kayvon Wallace and slammed him, right?
Yeah.
And then Ndamukong Suh stepped to him, and all of that slamming mentality went out there. When he looked right, like, well, I don't know who did it. I was just standing there. I was trying to. We need nasty on our team, and our defense don't have an identity. So first of all, the defense is bad, and there's no identity on it. We need an enforcer on that defense. Who the Niners got? Greenlaw. The Niners got Greenlaw. He's nasty. They got Bosa. He's nasty. They got, I don't know how long they're going to have him, but they got Chase Young. He's nasty. So that
Hargrave, nasty. Yeah. We got players.
Yeah, I got some players. Yeah. One or 2, I think. Warner's got that nasty.
Warner, of course.
Yeah,
Warner, See, but you see what I'm saying? Now, that nasty from them rubs off on the rest of the team. It's just like in basketball. If you got somebody that's a hustler, they say hustle is contagious. That's what I tell my team all day. I say hustle, that's contagious. One person hustle, the man next to him is not going to see him hustle and not die for a loose ball. Nasty is contagious. So all of that is contagious. So if we don't have at least one of these players that got that, nobody's going to have it. Like Brandon Graham, he's a good player, but he's not nasty. He's a nice guy. Like he'll sack the quarterback and help him up, and then
And help him up.
Man, next time, yeah, you know, he's like Serrano. He's like Serrano on Major League. Remember before he went and start doing this, and he was like the real nice guy. And
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
that was a nice catch. He talking to the other team. The guy like, "Get away from me." You know, it's like we got a bunch of nice guys on the team, and you need nasty. Like you need nasty. You need the Bill Romanowski type. You know, you need those type of players. You need nasty players on your right. You need nasty players. Not so much as dirty, but you need nasty.
Yeah.
You need attitude.
So what do you think about Leonard? Was he able? Was he
I
a
didn't
good
even see him
addition?
that much.
I didn't see him either.
He played. No, he played. He played.
He played. I mean, but
snaps,
it was no
right.
impact.
I mean,
really.
But he just got there. So yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a while, to notice what he does. Like nobody shows up to the job. You didn't even know who I was my first day at the job. Like, hey, who's this guy over here?
Right.
I mean?
But I'll say this: Chase Young. I mean, he was instant impact.
Yeah, but it's different for a DN, I think, to rush than a linebacker. A linebacker got a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah,
they got a lot more responsibilities.
Chase Young
than a
came
DN.
already into a stack situation. Like you got Hargrave, you got.
He went to
the
best
that's
team.
true too. Yeah,
You go
Bosa and those
see what I'm
guys.
saying? He came
Gregory.
already to a stack lineup. So all he really had to do was he didn't even have to start. He'd be the guy to get the guy ahead of him a breather. But he's still a top guy. You see what I'm saying? So with Leonard coming in, it's at the point of like he can't be no worse than who was in front of him. The Christian Ellis who we waived. I think after we got him, like the back seven is the back however many is this is actually my son's gaming headset. So listen.
Well, I'm glad he did that, Kiara, because I wanted him to make sure he hears me close coming through them headsets. I wanted him to make sure that there was no audibility issues there. But let me ask you a quick question, though, Scrap. Honestly, and I wasn't jumping out the window it sounds like I'm jumping out the window, but I really do think, and let me put it to you this way. Do you really honestly think, though, that firing your DC, I don't know who the DC is.
Sean Desai.
I don't know his background. I don't know what tree he came out of, what roots he has.
I think he came from the Bears. I think
he came from the Bears.
I think the Bears or the Chargers. I think I heard his name with those organizations.
You don't think that maybe a different voice, something different? Because you talk about the nastiness on defense, right? And I'm not saying that maybe changing the voice would generate that nastiness that you need. That's just something a player got to have within, or the guys in the locker room amongst themselves got to kind of bring that out of each other.
It don't matter.
But I just think
they say.
Or do you think it would send the wrong message to the Philly fans if that was to happen? They would say panic mode. It looks like panic, and then that wouldn't be a good. I
think as far as characteristics is nasty, dog, whatever. It has to be in you in order to come out you. Okay. These guys we got, I don't think they have that in them. I mean, that's fine. Like they don't have it in them. Like I don't look at nobody and say this guy's a dog. Now maybe Carter, but he's young. You see what I'm saying? So maybe in a couple years.
What about Hassan Reddick? I think he's nasty.
Oh yeah, but he's he's coming off the edge, so he gets a lot of attention. So he should actually be opening it up for other people. Reddick's a dog.
You need linebackers and I think like safeties to beat them dogs. I feel that's kind of like where it comes
somebody that can actually tee off on somebody. You see what I'm saying? Because the linemen don't really get the tee off because they so it's like a thin line that the linemen walk when they smack the quarterback. They can't hit them too hard and they got to be right on time because if it's a second late, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be laundry all over the place. So the linemen they're like held in check more. But I think the linebackers, because once a linebacker get hit, it's because somebody's became a runner, so they get the tee off. And the safety, same thing. Somebody's caught the ball and they're running now. So now you get to lay the wood, so to speak. But I mean, we definitely gotta have some type of nasty now. Like I said, with the defense, I'm not worrying about the defense because it is what it is, and that's what it's going to be. Like that defense is going to be bottom for the rest of the season. So it's up to our highest paid unit, which is the offense, to get it together. Like they got.
So you think that the offense has enough to not only get you out of the season, though, like we just said, we know it's a soft schedule coming up, right? And the Eagles should win out, right? They should. But do you think that your offense is going to be enough when it comes playoff time, when you're now playing against better teams?
Absolutely.
You think that offense is going to be enough to overcome as bad as the defense is?
If we get the offense to a point where it's like automatic, then yeah, absolutely. It's a scoring league. So long as we can keep pace with the scoring and not get 3 when they get 7, I mean, it's
a lot of pressure, man. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of scoring you got to do.
You're not going to be able to outscore.
Yeah, that's
when
really
you
what
think
it
about
would be.
The teams that you would have to play. If you think that you're solely going to rest or become dependent on the offense to carry you, and because
that's
you know
what they've been doing all season.
Yeah, but I'm talking about against playoff teams now. This is in the playoffs. So those teams that you are expected or just naturally are gifted enough to beat, they're going to be watching like us. Yeah, they'll be watching at home. Those playoff teams, even Detroit, who I had in my pecking order of the 4 teams in, the NFC, they were 4th. Initially it was Niners 1, Eagles 2, Dallas 3, Detroit 4. Now I think that has changed. I think Dallas is 2. They have proven thus far that they are the second best team in the NFC. Now, those teams, even Detroit, put up points. They averaged close to, high 20s a game. For you to outscore them and, your defense being the liability, I just don't think that's a winning strategy. I don't think that's possible. I think.
Well, I mean, it might not look like it, but we averaged, I think like a half a point less than we did last year. Going into the 49ers game, going into that week, our offense was just on par with last year. So I don't think scoring will be a problem. We just gotta fix what's broken, and that's the play calling. It's simple. It's like the balance. The balance is broken. You can't throw the ball 40 times a game and expect to win. That's taxing on the quarterback. That's taxing on the line. Any offensive lineman to tell you, I like running the ball. I like pushing forward and pushing people out the way. But when you got to stand there and back up and try to keep somebody off of somebody, that's more taxing. It's easier to go forward than backwards, right? Because they tell you that in baseball. Somebody hit a pop fly to you, you go back first. Your first steps are back, and then you come forward because it's easier to go forward than backward. We have to run the ball. We got all that beef on that line for nothing. It's up there for nothing. If we're not running the ball, we just got a big line. I think Jason Kelce is undersized, but he's he kind of plays like the fullback role because he gets out and pulls and hits the
and that's a Hall of Famer, bro. He's first ballot. You got Lane, and again, I think those problems are attributed to the defense. You can't it's hard to run the ball as effectively as you like to with Jalen, Gainwell, Boston, Swift. And to run with regularity and really be creative with the running game if your defense is not stopping anybody. It's just hard. It's so much that they can do.
I don't think it's that because it's not like we start the game off down 14. We have possessions and we're not running the ball. It's until we get down 13, 14 points. That's when they realize we can run the ball. But when we were down 7-0, right? And we weren't running the ball. I think they ran a couple runs.
Y'all actually ran on that drive when Hurts actually had a big, every time he did the draw, which made me nervous because Dallas still has some weaknesses in the middle of their defense, particularly on those draws like that with quarterbacks. That's why I'm a little nervous about Josh. But on a couple of runs that Hurts had, whereby he ran and he had some big gains, you know what I'm saying? And of course the fumble. But no, you're right. And I think they were running the ball effectively in that sense,
you gotta keep
a couple of times.
You have to keep running the ball. That keeps the defense honest. Because like you said with the 49ers, they knew we wasn't running the ball. So what they do? They just drop back. And then when we did finally run the ball, it was like the plays was botched because somebody had missed their block, and then next thing you know, you got red jerseys. Well, I think y'all wore white that game. Whatever color jerseys was in the backfield already. You have to run the ball. You have to run. It has to be balanced. Any offense has to be balanced. If it's no balance, it's going to look just like it did the last 2 weeks. Because if they know you're going to pass, they're just going to drop everybody back. And that's just what happens.
So, Rod, slight look ahead. We're going to discuss Week 15 in more depth on our next show. But a quick look ahead, the Cowboys are going to Buffalo, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
They are
Better bring your Long Johns.
They are 2.5 point
it's cold.
favorites. No, they're underdogs.
Oh, the underdogs. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
No, I have no problem with that. I think because Dallas still has in the minds of people and even in the
but let me
Cowboys
just
and the
say
fan
this.
base. But
He's Dak is 1-8 as an underdog. That's the concern that you may want to have before you feel confident in that. Dak is not good in an underdog, and so Cowboys, just as much as the Eagles and the Niners, all have a degree of pressure, right? The difference between potentially a number 2 seed or a number 5 seed is really a fine line. We don't really have that issue because we have handled all of the teams in our division. And pretty much.
I mean, you got a weaker division than the NFC East to a degree.
How so? I don't understand.
Who's in y'all division? I mean, the Rams is a, like I said, you got bad teams, you got mediocre.
Okay,
teams. That's
Rams in Seattle.
They're mediocre and good.
Are
The mediocre. I mean, they were 6-3. I think they dropped the Seahawks.
I understand that, but the Rams
5 or
in
6
Seattle,
games.
are they not better than Washington and the Giants?
Absolutely.
Yeah. They
So
are. Okay.
I don't understand what. Okay.
All right. Okay. All
No,
right.
I told you, he's.
It don't matter. We beat the Eagles. We beat the Eagles on Sunday. So I'm
The
saying,
adrenaline
okay.
is coming
much
down.
Okay.
Too much
Right.
sangria, man. He's still hungover.
Yeah, it's just like.
I ain't gonna lie. That was a hangover statement. You're right. Okay. My bad. You win, D. You win. Okay. Okay.
So
my bad.
I say all that to
just,
say
poking
it's going to
holes
be
into the
interesting.
Yeah.
All 3 of our teams are, well, you guys are in the hunt. We're actually in the playoffs. We've clinched a spot.
Who's in the hunt though? Why you say we're in the hunt? No team won. Nobody's
Because
team in
technically,
Because you guys haven't clinched. You haven't clinched anything.
I mean, I know we haven't clinched, but we have a spot. But the teams in the hunt are not like. In other words, teams in the hunt are teams that would like. In other words, you only in the hunt like if the season ended today, whoever's in the hunt wouldn't make the playoffs. If the season ended today, our teams are in the playoffs. We're just seated differently.
Right.
We're the number 2
I understand.
But we're not in the hunt.
Now that you beat the Eagles, because when CBS, they put down, or Fox kind of breaks down the playoff brackets. It'll have the division leaders to the left. Right. In the middle is where you were, and it was
5, 6, and 7 seed. Right. We was the 5th seed going into the Eagles game. Right. And the Eagles were the number 2 seed. And now it's been flipped. So that's all. But we're still in the playoff. We're not in the hunt, D. Come on now. That's a stretch. All right. In the hunt, the Giants in the hunt. The Saints are in the hunt.
Atlanta's in the hunt.
Atlanta's in the hunt. Chicago's in the hunt, for crying out loud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
okay.
I'll put some respect on you guys.
Okay. All right. Well, they are. So now we tied. So we want.
You guys are battling for the NFC East. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's fair to say. I mean, and
it's
can
still
I be objective?
To lose, though. It's still
right.
Guys
it is,
battling.
and that's objective to say because mathematically, I can't disagree with that.
You guys are battling to come to Levi's Stadium. How about that? Is that even better?
I agree with that too. Yeah, I told you something to get into the season, bro. And ain't nobody on my radar but the San Francisco 49ers. That's the only team I'm losing sleep over. That's the only team I'm concerned with. I will be in witness protection when we lose. If we lose that game, if we lose that game, I'm in witness protection. I'm coming with a black. So you saw this bright and crisp.
Get the voice.
You
get the voice. You got to get the voice.
Okay. Right. I know you have to do that. I'll tell you what, Scrap. I'll be dark, black out, and you do my voice because you got that on the money. So you'll be able to do my voice. That's it. You got my voice down. That's it. The way you did that was, oh my God, that was the most funniest thing I've.
I just think it's going to be interesting. Now AFC, what a mess. The year started off with everyone thinking that the NFC was pretty much easy. And the AFC had all of this competition and all these great quarterbacks. Right. Well, all of them have just succumbed to injury after injury after injury.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert done for the season, finger surgery. So it's like, I mean, it's going to be really interesting. And on top of it, the team that
the Ravens
has always
got a cakewalk.
Who?
The Ravens pretty much.
Well, yeah, they got the Niners. Game is
I'm saying
our only difficult game. That's going to be
out of AFC. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, out of AFC for sure because Miami are frauds. I've said that since last year. To be honest, Miami is just they're fraudulent. But because they have built up equity, they'll make the playoffs. I think if they have to go somewhere cold. They are going, even with Tyreek, that was a stretch. Cold weather is going to affect them because Tua is going to have to get the ball out to him. And if you put pressure on Tua, I know he took some tumbling classes and some ballerina classes to learn how to fall and get on his tiptoes. It's still, if you apply
that
pressure,
concussion he got, man, that scared me. Like, you saw his hands, was like this. Like, I was like,
it was, and there was talk. And there was talk that, it could, his season, his career was over. Yeah. But so far, I think overall they've done a pretty good job with protecting him. But just the way Tennessee was able to collapse on him, and as Rod said, he doesn't know how to move well. He's not a Russell Wilson, that's for sure. No, Russell Wilson.
No, Russell can get out of
how to.
Yes, he
spin
does.
and pirouette
Yes,
into
he does.
opportunities to look downfield. And so, plus Tua's left-handed.
I was about to say the
his
same
release
thing.
is a lot slower.
Come across his body.
Yeah, it's a slow release. So all of that stuff works. It works against him, to be honest. Absolutely. And if you don't have, wide receivers that can run 23 miles an hour that are so open, you can just lob it up there, and
right.
So maybe we were higher on Tua than we really needed to be. We got a glimpse of without Tyreek. Now, the only thing that I hope Tyreek is not out, because I'd liked him to hit the 2,000 yards. I wanted him to get that record, So I hope, knock on wood, he's okay and it's not a long-term injury. But certainly, I didn't see Miami being the number 1 seed. I think that's Baltimore. I think that's the best team in the AFC. Yeah. And I think, the Niners are the best team in the NFC. And if everything works out right, it shakes out right, we'll be seeing them in February in Vegas. And at the end of the game, there will be confetti raining down on the Niners in victory.
But D, something interesting now. You talked about Miami still making the playoffs. Miami could actually still miss the playoffs. I'm looking at the standings.
Oh, they could. Right? Absolutely.
They very well could. Yeah.
Buffalo.
Because,
absolutely.
Well, to Buffalo, but even if they don't win the East, right? They could still there still could be some problems here, right? Maybe. I mean, I think they'll still get in, but you got to look at Cleveland could still get in. They're 8-5. So they're only a game behind Miami, and they got the same conference record as them. 6-3.
And Flacco has been playing.
Flacco is balling. He's been named the starter the rest of the year, right? And Indianapolis is 7-6. Okay, and they have an easy schedule. They have an easy schedule for all intents and purposes coming up. The Colts, right? So
and Cincinnati's been playing well.
And Cincinnati too. Browning is balling.
He's been balling.
I'm saying if you get maybe, I don't know, because you still could get 3 teams out of the AFC South that could make it. So that could still bump the Dolphins if they don't get. And the Dolphins have a head-to-head with Buffalo the last game of the season too.
And I'll say this: I think their best shot. I think the Dolphins' best shot to going deep in the playoffs is winning the AFC East and having they're not going to win the number 1 seed. They're going to need to win out. And I think Buffalo, it's going to be interesting. That's going to be real interesting down the stretch.
Yeah, they got the Jets this week, right? And that's at home. And then they got the Cowboys. So that's an L. So they're not winning the whole week out. The whole rest of the year is not going to happen for them. But then they got to go to Baltimore. And then they got Buffalo back at home again. So it's a tough schedule for them.
It's not looking good for them.
Yeah.
And you got a tough schedule yourself. I mean,
yes, I do. We do. No question about it. Dallas got.
So when you were when you were saying technically we're in the playoffs, like don't say we're in the hunt. Is that because you anticipate losing a game? Is that because you anticipate losing one of your next 4 games?
The question really
I think that's why he called Miami a good team.
You said no, Cal, that was the adrenaline talking right there. I take that back. Scrap. I'm sorry. I take
Miami.
Y'all not better than y'all. The Dolphins are not better than y'all. My fault. I was just on a roll.
We 2 touchdowns better than them.
Yeah, definitely.
It really should have been 3 touchdowns. Y'all had mercy on them.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Gentlemen at the end of the day.
2 minutes in the red zone started taking the knee.
Like you said, you should be nasty. You got to be nasty. A nasty team would have scored on them.
Nice guys on our team.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're right. Gentlemen at the end of the day, man.
So Sirianni is a fake nasty guy. Because he tries to come off. He tries to come off like he has an edge, and he's supposed to be, like I'm gonna smear it in your face, but he's really not that. Is that what you're saying?
What smear what in your face? What did he smear in faces?
Well, he's a trash talker. He wants Carter.
I've never seen a coach get
Jalen
into
Carter,
the camera and do this.
Right. I've never seen him do that. Jalen Carter, he wants Jalen
Hold
Carter
on.
to control his emotions. And Nick Sirianni is one of the most emotional coaches in the NFL.
With the head nod thing, you know, cameras make stuff in slow motion, right? It's not like he was just like this. The camera did.
Yeah, but he was.
He showed.
Oh, so he's not doing it. So that's not him doing that. That's the camera. You tell me that's camera
Somebody
effect.
was saying something to him, and they was like, "Yo, you want to?" He like, "Yeah."
No. Because he was looking directly at the camera.
No, he looks right at y'all score. He goes right into that camera.
No, he was looking in the camera like, yeah, this is us. Yeah.
Listen, there's plenty of memes out there with him on that.
It was the guy behind the cameraman. I'm telling you, I saw the whole thing. It was the guy behind the cameraman.
Is that what it is?
And, yeah, he said, "Hey Nick, you want?" He like, "Oh yeah, I want that." So the camera put it in slow motion, man. Slow motion.
So, but he happened to be looking directly into the camera and not at the camera, or not the person behind the cameraman.
Well, the guy was standing they
were standing side by side.
Right now, look, it looked like I'm looking at the camera, right? But I'm not. I'm looking at my shoe on the floor. So it looks like you're looking at the camera.
I tell you, America, let's give it up for Scrap. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, he gets
this boy, man. I'm telling you, boy. It don't
own,
man.
Philly's own.
Philly's own, boy.
Yeah,
oh God,
he's gonna look out for Philly.
Well, I think with Sirianni, the whole edge thing is he wanted to come in and have like an identity. And, you know, try to remember how Bryce like over Philly when he got there. He was coming out to the Fresh Prince theme song and all that. I think he tried to over Philly when he got there. Like he showed up to the press conference with the Beat Dallas T-shirt on, and I mean he tried. I mean they know the fan base is either going to love you or not. So you gotta play to the fan base in Philly. If you're not a player on the field that can, you know, win us over with your playing, with your heart and hustle, and you the coach, you gotta sometimes over Philly to get us on your side. And that's just what it is. Like, I mean, he's playing the game. If he was still in, did you see any of this from him when he was in Indianapolis? No, you probably didn't even know he was in Indianapolis. I think he was a coordinator in Indianapolis.
He was a coordinator,
head coach?
I think so. Yeah, he was a coordinator.
Yeah,
but let me tell you, that is true. What you're saying is true. Because you remember Brian Kelly? Did you see when he went to LSU and then he started talking with a drawl? Like he was from like deep south, like he was talking like the guy on Waterboy, like that you couldn't understand what he was saying. So I think sometimes coaches can overdo it and try to ingratiate themselves too much. Yeah. And I think it works with Sirianni. It seems authentic. But like in Brian Kelly's, it didn't seem authentic when he was trying to.
What it could be like for all we know. Remember the Aquaman commercial when he comes home and he takes his chest off and he got the bird chest. And he takes his arms and stuff off. Underneath all that, it might be a little scared guy, but you don't know. Like you have in a city like Philly, in a city like New York, you have to play to the locals because those markets. Yeah. With those rabid fans, they'll
devour you if you can't. Never let them see you sweat. You got to be able to just.
They will eat you alive. They will eat you alive.
Now Sirianni was he was the OC from 2018 to 2020 in Indianapolis.
Okay.
All right. And he was he spent most of his career though with Kansas City. From 2009, up until 15, and then he went with the Chargers. But I'll give Sirianni credit in this regard. I think he clearly, saved Jalen Hurts' career in a lot of ways. I think the Eagles still weren't sure about him. He had a rough rookie season. He showed signs, you know what I mean? But
I don't think it was him as much as it was Steichen.
I think it was
the Steichen. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. The coach for the Colts now. Yeah. Okay, that might be fair to say.
I want to give AJ Brown a little more credit than you know. I think AJ Brown to Jalen Hurts
that's a fair contribution.
Was a Cooper to Dak. It was a I think it was a Josh Allen to
Stephon
Diggs. I think you need that alpha receiver that will take or be able to showcase your skills and abilities a lot more.
Historically, and why we were so mad when we drafted Hurts, right? Historically, the Eagles never ever gave our quarterbacks viable receivers. You see what I'm saying? McNabb, he went through his whole career with Todd Pinkston and James Trash. And those guys.
Women trash, right? Yeah.
Then
Until T.O. came. T.O. obviously made a difference. That was the year y'all went to the Super Bowl.
And we go to the Super Bowl. Same thing.
Right.
First Carson Wentz first year, he was throwing to Greg Ward and Dorian Green, Beckham, and those guys, right? So we go out, we give him some stuff. We get him Alshon Jeffrey. We get him a good running back. And you know, even though he didn't complete the job, he was having an MVP caliber season. Like
he was.
What they did with Hurts, when they got Hurts, they invested into him. They like, okay, we got to give this guy what he needs to be great. So there will be no, we didn't give him what he needed. Like the year y'all drafted CeeDee Lamb. Did y'all need CeeDee Lamb? Absolutely not. Y'all didn't need CeeDee Lamb, but y'all drafted him because y'all want to give Dak everything he needs to be great. Okay, you have to invest into your quarterback.
Yeah, and he fell to them, and he fell to them in the draft.
Yeah,
and it was a player of that caliber. You gotta take.
We had. Oh yeah, because he did fall into our lap. You're right, Don.
He fell to you guys,
and we just had to take him.
We were sitting there. We were like, yeah, Dallas don't need a receiver. They don't need a receiver. And then when they took him, we were just like, you know how we felt how the Giants felt when we drafted Devontae Smith. That's how we felt. Because the Giants were heartbroken when we drafted Devontae Smith.
Yeah, they was.
But he went to the right place because I don't think the Giants would have known what to do with him, and he would have just been a really good receiver on a horrible team.
Yeah, because I don't think Daniel Jones is not a quarterback that needs a receiver. He's just who he is, and I don't think it's going to make a difference who you put on out there with him.
Who's the outfielder? Jung-Hoo Lee. Who's that?
I don't know.
Jung-Hoo Lee. Who's that?
Well, Jung-Hoo Lee. He just signed a $113 million deal with the Giants. Outfield. This is a baseball. It just came up on my ESPN.
Oh, baseball. Oh, okay, no, I don't know what that is.
Oh, hold on. Can I ask you one thing? I mean, I don't mean to switch. Did y'all see Ohtani's contract? How it's like getting paid out?
He's very smart.
Yeah. Is that legal?
Yeah. You can defer.
Yeah. Because there's no salary cap in baseball, so they're not restricted with those you know how in the NFL you got to be creative with your salary cap.
You got to burn the money in the year's time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And there's
how come nobody else ever thought of that then?
Well, he decided to do that.
Besides Bobby Bonilla.
Right. You look at his contract. I mean, how many years has he gotten paid $1 million or $2 million on that anniversary date?
But I think, isn't Ohtani? And I didn't read the whole. I didn't get onto all the details, but I think that's just $2 million this year. I don't think he's taking $2 million for the
$680 million.
So he's going to take $2 million for the next 10 years.
He's going to start,
and then he's going to get his money.
He's going to get paid that $680 million between 2034 and 2044.
Wow.
So he's only going to
a year.
But this is what you got to think of.
Wow.
LA market.
He might not be playing no more by then.
You don't have to. That market. Think about the Asian dollar. That it's brilliant because
he's going to pay for himself 1 million times over.
Yeah, all of the endorsements he's going to get, he's not going to miss that money.
Oh no, he's not going to miss that money.
Imagine someone owing you almost $1 billion down the road.
His family is, oh my God, they're gonna, oh my Lord.
Well, he's smart, but set from the Angels money. Like he's not starving. He's not eating ramen every night. Yeah.
He's gonna be like what's his name? Gronk. Gronk didn't even cash his NFL checks for a good while.
What's his name? Beast Mode. Beast Mode just lived off the endorsements.
Just endorsement money, yeah. What you can easily.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch. Yeah.
He said, he had all that money.
I didn't mean to switch away from, but when
you good.
That contract's crazy.
Contract's crazy, bro.
Like the way they're breaking it down, I said, how come nobody else ever thought of that? That is insane. Well,
I think you got to realize maybe culturally, they're thinking more of long-term, generational. I mean, and that's beyond generational wealth. But if you're thinking he's in a really unique position, being the market that he's in, the type of player. Now, he may not go back to being a two-way player where he's pitching and hitting as effectively as he is, but that market and the impact, I mean, just think of Linsanity, right? For that short window, he was everywhere on commercials. How much endorsement?
And the Asian community supports.
Asian community is going to support, and especially in LA.
Didn't he get his own sneakers from that?
Yeah, of course he did. So thinking about $680 million, which is unfathomable wealth, like deferring that, like, yo, there are players and people in those positions that want. Now I want my money now. You just cut me the check now.
Yeah, mainly our people would do that though, because I think that's a generational mindset. Yeah, right, exactly. Because God forbid, right? I mean, the guy's gonna be old. He's not playing. What did you say, from 2034 to 2044?
2034. Yeah, 2034 to 2044 is when they're gonna give him that.
So he's gonna most likely be probably not even playing baseball any longer by the time they start to pay him that money. And so, I mean, to just be able to,
I would think he's going to play.
I mean, he might still he's not going to be the Ohtani, right? He's not. I don't. But he's not.
10 years from now. So
10 years from now, I don't think he's. Unless he's going to pull a LeBron and just be off the hook. But I don't think he's going to be playing to the level he's at now. I think that's I just think that's a mentality within his culture. And then, like you guys been saying, all the money.
The DH put about 5 to 8 years at the end of people's careers. Just
that's
coming and hit.
Oh wow!
He's
29. So. What's interesting, he's 29, so he'll be going on 40. Yeah. And I mean, if he still can still hit, and he's still a draw, and he's still able to put people in the seats, they'll DH him for another.
Well,
he could play if he wants. If he doesn't pitch anymore and he's solely working on hitting, then I think he can go at least another 10 years is no problem. Depends on how his body starts breaking.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to hurt the Dodgers, though, is that, when that money kicks in, and then they're going to still try to build a championship team, they still got to pay Ohtani.
They in win now mode, man. They're not.
They better make it worth it. They better try to. Yeah,
they got to win as many chips as they can. The last 2 playoffs, they went out the first series they played. Like, with the roster they have now, like, they lost last year to the Padres, and they lost to the Diamondbacks this year. Like, they can't have another season like that. There's no way they can have another season like that.
No,
Magic Johnson is. I'm sure he's tired of tweeting. Oh, this is another very disappointing. Like, he likes tweeting. That was a spirited win by.
Yeah, he does.
Whatever
team. Said
team,
about the Lakers, or he'll
the Lakers,
the Dodgers,
or Washington, or
Washington.
Dodgers.
Yeah. But he does.
Listen.
Well, D, did you? I mean, the good show. Yeah, good show. And congrats on beating the Seahawks. I didn't know if you want to talk about.
No, listen.
Okay.
You had alluded to a potential upset. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I hate to say these things. Like, as predicted, I said it was going to be a close game, closer than, because it's a divisional game, and we weren't going to win by 14 points. And we didn't win by 14. Like, listen. Yeah. I know some things about spreads. Like, I just, I don't want to say this, but I do know some things.
Well, can you send me some picks for my parlays, man? I'm dying over here missing by one, man. Can you not be up by 15?
Some of these things are more obvious than others. It's just understanding there is something to be said about the picture or the piece of paper Scrap held up about there is a certain script to the NFL. There's a certain script to the NBA. There's a certain script to MLB. There are scripts, and the only thing that aborts those scripts are injuries. But there is a course that, for ratings, for to maximize the audience and their interest in said sport, it has to play out a certain way. They would ideally like it to play out a certain way. That is why the NFL made all of the divisional games the last game of the season. You're going to play a division team, and it wasn't always that way, but that maximizes, because it doesn't benefit the league, especially the NFL, for their teams to be out so early in the season. Because that whole fan base, you have now isolated that fan base. They're no longer interested when, I'm not watching this anymore. Right. You're losing that stuff. Merchandising, people ain't going. The seats are empty. People got brown paper bags over their head. They're not interested anymore. So from a script standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world. Roger Goodell, they're not paying him $60 million a year for nothing. They know how to market and have teams in it enough just to keep the interest, just to keep it seem like there is a certain level of fairness, and that the teams, any given Sunday. The truth is, it's not any given Sunday. There is a hierarchy of how teams play. And there's levels to it, and every team is not going to be there. But for the standpoint of marketing, they have to I mean, NFL Sunday,
they got to keep.
They charging you $400 to see every game. If your game is trash and your team is trash, and you live on the other side let's say I was a Giants fan, and I live in California. You think I'm going to pay $400 if that team is out of it within the first 6 weeks? Like, no, right. I'm not. Or if it so there is a reason behind the whole scripting.
A method to the madness.
It's a method to it. It's a multi-billion, trillion-dollar company, and they're not going to leave it up solely to jocks. They're just not. I mean, they're not. They're not leaving it up to. They're just not.
No, you're right. You're right. That's true.
All this sports wisdom you got, you need to text me some player props and stuff, man. You see me, I send you my thing.
You send them to yes, you do.
Listen.
So you're struggling a little bit in your fantasy scrap somewhat, or
not fantasy? I'm talking about on FanDuel, man. When you win money, man, I missed $5,000 by one play the other day, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I'm like, this guy got all this knowledge and he's holding on to it, man.
You better. He gonna charge you though. He gonna charge you.
I'm not gonna charge. I would never charge. I would never charge.
2.3%. Right. Scrap will pay you, bro. $5,000. Yo, listen, I don't mind. Yo, D is a quick 500.
Right.
On that. I just got $5,000. You good? I don't care.
Just like the Kansas City receivers, man, you get what you pay for, man. I'm getting good service. I'm gonna pay my man.
Don't pay your man. That's right. No doubt, bro.
Man, listen. We need to talk about the Niners. I think we're so far in this saga of bird games that we have. We're 3-0. We have 2 more bird games. We got the Cardinals. And then Christmas Day, which is going to be something, we got, I think, the last tough game we have, potentially the toughest game we'll have. And this could be a preview of the Super Bowl, because I do think the Ravens are the best in the AFC. And I feel confident, obviously, that we're the best in the NFC. So this could be, really interesting down the line. And all the games are important to all 3 of us. As far as seeding and potential, number 1 seed or winning the division. So it should be interesting. But we'll definitely, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I just want to say, man, Scrap, you my boy, you my brother. And, much.
See how he's sitting sideways, sitting side saddle after they get a W.
Man, just feels good to get a win. Come on, guys, y'all know it feels good to get a W. You know what I'm saying? It feels great.
Always.
It feels great. Always feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Life for the last couple of weeks, but I've had it before.
Right. In weeks past, you understand.
In weeks past, you know, say he's got the 10 wins stored up in him. That's so far.
What a difference it makes when you said to Rod, you're not going to see them anymore. When he was talking, you were talking about them seeing the shoulders dropped. He was, oh man, I don't want to, like he was.
He went to his high voice. We gonna see him again.
Right, we gonna see him, and his eyes always get shifty. When them eyes start shifting,
he said the high voice.
But in any case, good show.
Good show, man.
Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production.
That's it.
Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. Like I said, these are original beats. This music is all original. You'll hear this, not these, because we get first dibs. But this same pool of music is on ESPN
all day.
Fox Sports. Netflix, they're using them in movies. I mean, you name it. We have
shout out.
Infinite Audio is immensely talented.
Yeah, very.
Kingdom Creative, immensely talented as our producers. So, we're looking good, man. We're looking good. 2024 is going to be, very promising. But we'll out on our next show, Scrap. We want you on the show, man. until you guys win, man. We gotta have. We gotta finish the show out with us. Man. We gotta finish this season out. With us.
I think so,
gotta
Scrap.
see how-
Can you commit to that? Do we have to work with your agent? We get you on the contract for the rest of the season,
I'm my own
man.
agent. I'm Teddy Brewski or whatever that dude name is. I'll negotiate my own contract.
Right. Don't get Master P to negotiate your contract.
No,
Because remember, he negotiated. What's the running back?
Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams.
Like, yo, I'm gonna pay you in all singles, and it's gonna be in suitcases, so you think it's more than what it is. Like, don't have don't have Master P. Negotiate your contract.
All incentive-laden contract, right?
You gotta run
only
for
get
3,000 yards.
Y'all
gotta
know
have
I'm a little
18
different
touchdowns.
after a win, man. I'm a little different after a win, man. I ain't like
I
pride,
know it.
man, but I'm a
I
little
know
different after a win, man. So.
No, listen, we know
But
you
you know how
really
it always
you
works
know.
out? It's the people that can't handle victories don't get them. And the ones that can handle it get them all the time.
Oh my
you know,
gosh,
because
here
I
we
couldn't
go. Here
imagine
we
Rod
go.
if he had beat us. And if he had beat the Niners, even though we beat them, I couldn't imagine.
We would have still, this show would have still been going on from week, whatever week that was.
Right.
We'd have never turned on. We'd have
trying
had
to plug
8,000
in.
hours, right?
Right. Just try to make sure the batteries stay
Just
up.
make sure the batteries.
Oh my goodness, that's
We'd
that's
like
hilarious.
today.
Mad
Going
games
to
a
hour
week,
time
right?
lapsing all over like
Noon
come
and
on.
night
Like a nanny
on the
cam.
rising of the
Nanny
sun.
cam.
Yo,
That's
yo,
hilarious.
for real, bro. Yo, for real. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you would have got it, D. No doubt.
Gracious in victory and defeat, man. But we
I'm
appreciate it. Until our next show, thanks, Scrap, once again for joining us.
Word up, my brother.
You knocked it out, Rod.
Appreciate
you.
Thanks
did.
for joining. Until next
Likewise.
time. Thanks. Oh, one more thing. Like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page.
Please.
If there's anything you want us to discuss, please put it in the chats. We'll discuss it on the next show. Or if you're live and you got comments.
Put it on, I couldn't post it on Facebook. I'm locked up.
Oh,
Let
okay.
me out. Yeah, I had some choice language for our coordinators, man. And, it didn't meet the community standards, man. So,
Yeah, meet the community. Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, man.
Yeah. I could DM
man.
I could DM on there, but I can't share my.
You just
my
can't
views
share.
with the
Okay.
open world.
How long
Yeah.
is that for? Like, how long
I
would you
got
think
about
that'll
9
be?
more days, man. 9 more.
Oh,
days.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
it was
that's
good one, man. It was worth it, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least you got it out, man. You know, at least
Hey, man, listen, man. Off my chest, man. Listen.
That's off your chest.
Better
That's
out
what-
than in is what they say.
Better out than in. That's as
Better
they
out than
always
in,
say.
bro. No doubt. No doubt.
Therapy. All right. So, peace, fellas.
No doubt.